Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Charlie Veitch, and I am a committed anarchist. For a few years, I dabbled in the world of conspiracy theory because they are very interesting, and the documentaries are very compelling, and they connected dots which perhaps shouldn't have been connected in such a way. But much like any religion or cult, it appealed to the emotions, and as an anarchist, the propaganda that perhaps our governments are behind some of the biggest atrocities and not the enemies that they tell us was very appealing to me, because any propaganda that makes the state look murderous and evil, which it is good propaganda for me. But I've been thinking, and I've spent the last few months receiving a lot of abuse and hatred from my new enemies, shall we say, because what I really want to say with this short film is that conspiracy theory and conspiracy theorists are in fact the enemies of the resistance. And by resistance I mean the opposition to the things we can all agree on, that even the mainstream talk about, such as the fact that 1 in 3 women experiences rape as their first sexual encounter, or the fact that in Africa all their natural resources are being taken and they live in absolute poverty. There's other conspiracies which aren't even secrets. There's the invasion of Iraq, Afghanistan and Libya. There's the obvious corruption in states like Russia or Iran or China. You know, there's a lot of things which... We live near a helicopter pad here in West London, so apologies for it sounding like Vietnam. But there's so many things that we can be active about. There's so many things we can oppose, such as the banking bailouts, corruption within the British establishment, or the ridiculous relationship in America between funding and money and running for president. And as a committed anarchist, it's sad to see all these people in America thinking that Ron Paul will be the savior, that he will suddenly change America, that he'll expose 9/11 as a lie and he'll bring in all you Alex Jones fans as his congressman or something. But what I'm trying to say with saying that conspiracy theorists are the enemies of the resistance is that you guys take so much attention away from the real issues, such as imperialism, such as the economy, such as the social stratification of people into upper class, middle class and lower class, and you take that attention and you send people chasing ghosts. You send them looking at ridiculous scientific papers about thermite, which are discredited and discredited within the scientific community to the point where they think it's a joke. And though Stephen Jones's intentions might be pure, he has no evidence of thermite or thermate. Those chips could come from anything. But really, if you want to be an activist, if you think the world is messed up, try something simple, which is what I've been doing for the last 3 years. Stop paying your tax, stop complying, and become a nuisance to the state in one way or another. And certain victories which the Love Police have achieved is 2.5 years ago, if you tried megaphoning anywhere in central London, you'd probably get arrested or harassed at least, whereas now, within the UK, megaphoning in public is seen as normal, and they know not to bother you, and that is a victory for free speech and sanity against the state. But it just saddens me to see how conspiracy theory, and this happened to me, and I speak from personal experience, when I was beginning my political and philosophical and spiritual awakening, I was in a way corrupted by Alex Jones and his films such as Terror Storm or so forth, which tell a very paranoid and fearful view of the world, and it's very alarming, and it does appeal to your emotions and so forth. And I think that there is a disease, a mental disease, which I am very happy to speak out against, because I used to suffer from this disease, and luckily now, through virtue of, I guess, going to and actually exploring the issues at stake myself, I've managed to wake up out of this. But if I can give any warning to people who are looking at conspiracy theories and thinking that they're right, or that they're part of some secret network of people who understand, who are awake, please stay away from it. Because there's this idea within conspiracy theories, that within conspiracy theory people, that they know they're awake and the mainstream people are oblivious and they don't understand. But look guys, the BBC are continually making documentaries about conspiracy theories. There's even shows going out called Conspiracy Theory. The newspapers talk about conspiracy theories all the time. And the reason why they don't appeal to more than maybe 10–20% of the population is that most people have a good bullshit detector, and they know when something is bullshit. And if we look at history, the Watergate scandal, that was a massive scandal. Or Lewinsky giving Clinton a blowjob, that was a massive scandal, and these things erupt. The reason why September the 11th hasn't erupted, and it hasn't started World War III, or at least a revolution in America, is because, unfortunately, there is no evidence whatsoever that the government, the American government, or the Israeli government, or the British government, or whichever government carried it out. At the very least, what we have is evidence, and as an anarchist this appeals to me, and this is direct evidence, that the American government was warned. They were warned many times, FBI, CIA, these terrorists, these Arabs, they're going to do something to your towers. There's chit-chat on the internet that people are going to carry out these atrocities. And for whatever reason, my personal feeling is that there's probably millions of warnings coming in every day. They didn't work very hard against it. And as someone who spent 10 days in the East Coast of America speaking to the FBI and the CIA, I can tell you guys, they're not any smarter than we are. They're not devilish people able to orchestrate massive world events. They're just normal beer-drinking family men and women. And there is this idea within the conspiracy theory world that there is this secret network of people who are so powerful and so clever that they can orchestrate these things, but unfortunately they can't. So, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I guess there is also an element of cowardice in the conspiracy theory world, because I get recognized every day by a couple of people in the street, whether I'm in this country or abroad, or I'm in England, Scotland, in the street, whatever. And I still get recognized once or twice by people every day in the street. And there's so many conspiracy theorists being so hateful towards me and making videos and all this kind of weird, twisted, dark shit. But I don't have these people come up to me and shout insults at me in the street, or get angry at me, or try and challenge me in the street. So look, conspiracy theorists, if you're so big and brave, if you're so sure of your ideas, come and speak to me in the street. And the other day on September the 11th, I also want to apologize to Belinda Mackenzie for calling you a bitch. But you did say that the BBC was complicit in a cover-up whilst I was right there. You did start to bring up my ex-girlfriend and previous things, and I've had people at festivals bring up personal life as a way to try and hurt me. So I'm sorry I called you a bitch. I wish I could rewind and be a bit more gentlemanly about the whole thing, but I did feel threatened and attacked. And if we look at this in the context of 2 months of abuse every day abuse by conspiracy theorists, and then that happened. Belinda, I just want to say sorry, and may we move on. But for the rest of the conspiracy theory world, and this goes to Alex Jones as well, I am, unfortunately, now your committed enemy. And this isn't something I've chosen, this is something that you've turned me into. And I'm happy to wear this crown of your enemy, because you are the biggest enemies of the resistance and of normal people being able to challenge this system which oppresses the whole world. So this is Charlie Veitch logging off, as always a committed anarchist, not paying tax, not obeying the system, and loving everything else. So from West London, take care.